What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Trials and the Trails of Life with me, your host, your adventure junkie, and your all-around pathfinder, Humza Shamsuddin. And I just wanted to take a moment and talk about story. Because, let's face it, story is everything. We live our life based on stories. We connect with one another based on stories. And so I want to share with you just a little, we'll call it Trailside Pillowtalk. Can't say as I've done that before. And, our life is so much dictated by the stories that we tell ourselves about everything, because at the root of it, events happen in our life. And it's the meaning or the stories that we place on those events that ultimately dictates our reality. And so much of the past weeks and, now a couple months has really been, somewhat fixed around what's going on with COVID-19 and the impact. And, it really got me thinking. And as I've been out here just trekking through and taking my time to disconnect and just be present in nature, I came to realize how powerful, that awareness really is. And so I ask of you, at the end of all of this, at the end of your life, what are your stories going to sound like? Are they going to be stories of triumph? Are they going to be stories of laughter? Stories of adventure? Or are they going to be stories of despair or stories of sorrow? And I ask that question because it's up to us to decide what the story of our life ultimately is going to be. Despite the circumstances, how did you choose to write your ending? How did you choose to write each chapter of your life? And I think there's power in that awareness, because now more than ever, as stresses are high, our lifestyles are being disrupted, it's the story that we tell ourselves about this that is really going to have the biggest impact. And that in itself, man, it's power. And, I just encourage you to take awareness, take stock. What are the stories that are playing out in your life? About yourself, about your environment, about the people around you, the people that you love. What stories are present in that space? And what can you do to transform those stories? Shift those stories to empowering ones that you're proud to tell the tale of. A number of years ago, I found myself in El Salvador. And I was so excited and yet so nervous too, because I was traveling solo. And despite having a couple of trusted friends telling me the timing isn't right, plan it for another time, this is too spontaneous, I chose to go anyways. And, I was committed to creating this giant story of adventure. And the funny part about it, funny, not funny, the second day that I was there, I got severely injured. I ended up taking a surfboard to the face, was almost knocked out underwater when I was taken by the wave and put headfirst into the bottom. And, the reality hit me when things were going black that, bro, you're still underwater. Like, it's time to swim. And so, right there, I had that choice in that fleeting moment: take a nap or fight. And, instinct said fight. There's some guiding force that said fight. And I made it to the surface. And, my ego my ego's bruised because I'm hearing my friends telling me not to go, and of course, I get injured. And I look at the local guide that I had out with me, and he sees me, I see him, and I attempt to motion that I just need to take like 5 minutes, get my head screwed back on straight, go back to shore. But I wasn't done for the day. Like I was committed to that not being the end of the story. And so when I got to the shore, that's when reality started to strike. When the people at the surf resort looked at me and asked if I needed to go see a doctor. And I finally looked myself in the mirror and I saw the reality. My face was ripped open, as it turns out. I'd broken my cheek and had some type of head injury, which we really had no way to confirm it at the time. And all I know is, after going to the doctor and pushing through just the sheer pain that I was experiencing, I made a choice that night that I wasn't going to cut my trip short. And because I didn't want that to be the end of the story. And the next morning, I actually got up and I went surfing again. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I went. And, I got back up on that board, and I'm so thankful that I did, because I chose right then and there how the story was going to go. Was it the near, fatal surfing accident, or was it, yep, that was a close one. And guess what? There's a reason why I'm still here. So I'm going to live in this experience. I'm going to learn from this experience, and I'm going to share it with others. Because you never know. You just never know how your life is going to go. And let me tell you, stories have power. Being able to share your story in an empowering way, a way that people can learn from, and also realize that it doesn't have to dictate your life. There's power in that. You have a choice. You can live a suffering story to your life, or you can live a beautiful story to your life. It's your call. What up, folks? Well, I'm sure it's no surprise to you that I'd be back on camera here. But this is my last day down here in El Salvador. Getting ready to pack up and get my stuff together, load up on the shuttle, and make my way back to Antigua. Really just wanted to share a little bit of the scenery here, show you what I've been surfing on for the past 3 days. And I just got to tell you, first day went awesome. Second day, yeah, I got knocked down pretty hard. For those of you that can't tell, I got a couple marks to prove it. Don't get in a fight with a surfboard. You'll never win. But, check it. Day 3. I'd say day 3, the wave started off a little bit bigger than this. And, I just got right back on that horse, kept going. So 3 solid days of surfing. I love it. And with that, I'm just going to leave you with that awareness and that choice. How do you want your story to be written? Only you can decide. So thanks for tuning in. I know the energy is just a little bit different on this one, a little more chill. And, thanks for sharing this little trail relaxation time with me. We'll catch you next time on the trials and the trails of life with me, Humza.